Today, I'm making a tomato soup recipe I found written on a cup. But there's a slight problem. All I have is a list of ingredients. There are no cooking instructions whatsoever, and some of the measurements are not very clear. I'm a bit worried, but let's make it. Hello, home chefs, and welcome back to the channel. We need 450 grams of tomatoes. Then we'll need 2 onions, 1 carrot, and 1 clove of garlic. Since it's not specified whether it's medium or large onions, I'm using 2 small onions. 2 tablespoons of oil, salt and pepper to taste, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. When I look at the remainder of the things in this list, there are 2 ingredients that are not my favorite: basil and celery. And I don't have vegetable stock, so I'm replacing the celery with some leek and keeping the basil, and then replacing the vegetable stock with water. Hopefully it still works the same way. So the dilemma I have in my head is, since I have no cooking instructions, I don't know whether to roast these ingredients or to saute them. But one thing I know for sure is they will need to be blended at the end of the cooking process. So I'm going to chop up my ingredients in just medium sizes. I'm not very particular about it because of the blending at the end. So I thought about it, and I'm going to make this soup the way I make most of my soups, on the stove top. So let's saute all my ingredients. I'll add my oil into my sufuria, then I'll go in with my diced up onions. Saute that for a few minutes. I'm going in with a teaspoon of salt. Since there was no measurement given for the salt and pepper, I'm going to keep tasting and adjusting it as needed. I'll saute that until it's translucent. Then I'm going in with my sliced up garlic and my carrots. I'll saute that on high heat for a few minutes. Then we'll go in with our chopped up tomatoes. The other dilemma I'm having is what to do with the basil. It's one of those herbs that you have to treat very delicately. Let's see what I come up with. I almost forgot my leeks. Add your leeks. Ideally, you should saute this with your onion. We'll then cover it and let it stew for a few minutes. Then I'm going to add something that I feel like goes really well with tomatoes: oregano. So I'm going in with about half a teaspoon of oregano, and then we are adding in our black pepper, a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Like I said, we're winging it because there were no measurements given for the seasoning. I'm then going with my water. I'm using water because I don't have vegetable stock, and I feel like water will do just fine. We will cover this and let it cook for about 30 to 45 minutes on low heat. After 45 minutes, you realize that the vegetables have broken down. And at this point, we are going to blend this entire thing up. So I have let this cool down a bit before blending it because I don't like to risk blending very hot liquids. If you have an immersion blender at this point, this would be nice. I don't have one yet. So I'm going to just spoon a bit of this into the blender And then the other thing I do as a precaution is to make sure that my blender isn't closed tightly. There's an area for the steam to escape. And then I make sure I have a towel that I will use, a kitchen towel, to cover up the lid so that if liquid splashes, it doesn't splash directly on me. Just a few pointers, that's all. I'll blend up my soup in small portions and then return it back to my pot. I finally know what to do with the basil. I'm just going to place it into my soup in my bowl and allow the heat to just get all the flavor that we need from it. It's going to be a delicate flavor because we are handling it well. At this point, since I'm risking everything, I'm going to add in my sugar, but also I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cream. Let's see how it tastes. It actually tastes really nice. This was not a waste of ingredients. Would you try it? I allowed my soup to simmer just a bit. Then my soup is ready to serve. I'm going to add a bit of cream on top, then garnish it with basil. But like I said, the basil is going to release a subtle flavor into the soup. Allow me to say thank you for 600 subscribers as of today. You guys are just so amazing. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for making this place your home. And if you're new here, thank you for joining us. We have fun in the kitchen, one recipe at a time. Am I the only one who tries out recipes that I bump onto anywhere? There are times when it backfires, I won't lie. But this one is really, really nice. If you want to give it a try, I'll leave the ingredients I've used in the description below. Now all I need is a bun and I can enjoy my dinner. As always, enjoy. Bye.